Hi, my name is Tara Barnes, health educator for CalFresh Healthy Living and the Children's Collective, and welcome to our Healthy Happy Families preschool curriculum for parents. We are going over lesson 5 today, and today's topic is child's play. Where I will be giving you some tips on ways you can incorporate play into your child's daily routine so that way they will be physically active. So we'll get started. So to recap our previous lesson, lesson 4, we talked about ways parents will understand the importance of using words instead of food to praise their children. We also discussed ways for parents to learn how to encourage positive behavior in their children. And the take home activity was a treasure box, which is a way to provide a positive reward to your child when they do something. So it was, writing an activity or any type of thing that your child would like to do, writing one activity on a stripped piece of paper, putting the paper inside of a decorated box with a lid or a can with a lid. And then each time your child, accomplished something or was rewarded with positive behavior, they could pull a piece of one of the strips of paper out of the box, and that would be the activity that you guys would do. So I do hope that you found that activity to be fun for you and your child if you were able to do it. So as always, we incorporate My Plate. My Plate again is just a guide to provide recommendations on the portion sizes that we should eat. So a reminder to make half your plates fruits and vegetables. Again, vegetables and fruits can come in any form, whether they're frozen, fresh, canned, pureed, however you choose. Also making half the grains that you eat whole grains, also including protein and dairy or dairy substitute. So our objectives for today are parents will understand the importance of play, and parents will also learn ways to increase their child's physical activity. So children learn best when they are having fun, and that is why play is sometimes called the work of childhood. During play, children learn important skills that they need for healthy development. So to us, it may look like, okay, they're just playing and burning off steam, but in reality, they're actually building and gaining a lot of wonderful, necessary skills for their overall health and development. Not only just communication, but they're building on their fine motor skills, fine and gross motor skills, cooperation, uh, taking turns, having patience. There's a variety of things that come from play, and so the more that we can provide opportunities for our kids to play, the better it is for their overall development. So physical play, like running and jumping, helps children to learn coordination and balance. While small motor skills or small motor play, like stacking blocks and drawing, will help them to learn eye-hand or hand-eye coordination. Problem solving, like puzzles and sorting, helps children to develop thinking skills as they try to fit things in certain spots and sort things out, whether it's by colors or numbers or shapes, sizes. And verbal play, like reading and singing, helps children to develop language skills. So, as you can see, all of these, if you're just thinking about play, you would just think, oh, they're just playing and having a good time, but not realizing that they're actually building all of these skills as they engage in play activities. So children like to play best when they are doing it with someone. Young children do not start to enjoy playing with their peers on their own until they're about 3 years of age, so about preschool age. Usually younger children are more not independent, but solitary. I'm sorry, that's the term. They're more a solitary play where they play by themselves. And then as they get older and go into preschool, so around the ages of about 3, that's when they start learning how to play with other kids, or they start engaging in cooperative play with other kids. Again, before then, younger children actually is what we're talking about here. They enjoy one on one interaction, and that's usually between the child and their caregiver. And it is important for parents to remember that when children are playing and having fun, that they are also learning. While it may get noisy, messy, or dirty, play is actually an important part of your child's development. So when you have those opportunities for them to play, please, engage in it yourself, have fun with them, but also be sure to allow them to have those moments to have time to play and engage in activities with other kids. That really, really helps to form um, connections between children, connections between the child and your caregivers, and it helps them to learn about the environment around them and the world around them as they engage in a variety of play opportunities. So make play a part of your day. Play is an important way that children learn. It helps them to develop their brain and body development, and they also develop emotionally and socially through play. Again, like I mentioned, they're able to play at this age when we're talking about preschoolers, they're able to play um, cooperatively with other kids. They're able to, share, take turns, pass things, just do a lot of interaction. And so this is that time where they're really developing their brain and body development. They're learning how to manage their body, how to balance, how to stand on one foot, how to hop up and down, how to bend, doing a variety of things with their own body. So this is a huge opportunity for kids to develop those skills that are going to help them thrive as they continue to grow. Play is important because it increases physical activity, which all children should get at least 60 minutes of physical activity, and that's unstructured physical activity each day. It creates strong family bonds. So again, if you're able to participate in play activities with your children, please do so. Take those opportunities or those moments to be able to engage in fun activities with your kids so that you can show them that being physically active doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's actually a lot of fun, and you can incorporate a lot of fun things to make it even more exciting. Play also helps to build confidence and independence. Kids are able to, they may find it kind of difficult to accomplish a particular skill when they're playing, maybe jumping rope, but then once they do it and they practice it, they become confident in it and they, can excel in that. And they're able to form independence as well, picking and choosing what activities they want to do, how they're playing, what decision making may go into those play opportunities when they're playing with other children, making decisions for themselves and making choices. So it builds a lot of confidence, a lot of independence, and again, like we said, strong family bonds as well. It also helps them to develop coordination skills. Like I had mentioned, balancing is one thing. How do you balance on one foot or putting one foot in front of the other to walk like in a straight on a straight line? Kids are learning how to maneuver or manipulate their bodies at this age. So giving them the freedom to play and to experience um, how their body reacts in certain environments or when they're moving a certain way, again, helps to build all of the skills that we've been mentioning. It also teaches them to share, like I also stated about sharing and taking turns, also being patient, waiting for someone else to go down the slide on the jungle gym, or just being able to interact and know how to um, share appropriately with their peers. Play also keeps children healthy. They're being physically active. Young children should get at least 60 minutes of unstructured physical activity a day. Unstructured is where they're playing, running, jumping, climbing, dancing, whatever it may be, but it's free. It's freedom for them to explore and express. When it's structured activity, that's more organized play. So that would be games like tag or duck, duck, goose, or um, anything where you're kind of setting up the environment for them to play, whether it's kickball or handball. Any of those type of games are structured physical activity. So you want to give them also unstructured so that they can really take advantage of using all of their muscles and can really get their bodies working. And play also helps children to learn and think. So they're using their cognitive skills to think about whatever it is that they're doing. How do they, how do they master climbing up, um, you know, the ladder to get to the top of the slide? Um, just those kind of things. Kids are developing those skills through play. So as you can see, play does a lot for children as far as helping to build their overall development. And it really sets the tone for helping them as they continue to get older once they get into grade school, because they're going to be pretty much, on their own. They're not going to, it's a different environment once they hit grade school versus preschool. So you want to make sure, or want to, hope that they're at a place where they're confident and have those skills so that they can thrive in various environments. So here's a question. How often do you do physical activities together with your children? And what type of physical activities uh, do you enjoy doing as a family? So that's just a couple of questions that we have. And of course, if we were together or we can answer, this would be a great way to have a robust discussion of some things that you all may do when it comes to physical activity together. But hopefully, we'll be able to give you some other ideas on ways that you can incorporate physical activity and play as a family. So again, here's some ideas that you can do together. You can go on a hike, a family hike. There's a lot of different trails and areas in especially in Southern California that you can take your family for a nice daily. I'm sorry, not daily, but a nice family hike that doesn't have to be too strenuous, but just a great way to get out and explore the environment and nature. And a lot of times, to go hiking is actually a free activity. You may have to pay for parking, but usually it's free to hike. Jumping rope, that's a great physical activity, but it's also play. And it's something that you can do as a family. You can play games like Simon Says. You can go bike riding, play hopscotch. I don't really see a whole lot of kids playing hopscotch anymore, but hopscotch is so much fun. And, even though a preschooler may not grasp the concept of hopscotch right away, just the idea of them being able to hop on one foot, or to eventually be able to hop on one foot and to hop from box to box and, do all the little things that are a part of hopscotch. That's just a really, really wonderful activity for kids to learn how to do, because it builds on their gross motor skills and eye hand coordination as well. Dance, that's a free activity. You can dance anytime, any place, pretty much. So if you can, put on some music and you have some, space to move around in, get your little one and start dancing. That's a great physical activity, and it's fun, and kids see that as play as well. Play tag, as a family, play family tag. That's a fun game to play together. You can make an obstacle course, whether you have outdoor space or not. You can make a fun little obstacle course throughout, around the house, where your kid has to climb under something and jump over something, or climb over something and hop on one foot to get here and walk backwards to get there. So there's so many things you can do to make an obstacle course as well, using in materials that you have at home. And doing family yoga, that's a really fun way to incorporate physical activity as a family. Doing easy yoga moves. You can show your kids how to move their bodies and what their bodies can do, just based off of how they stretch, and learning how to breathe. So those are just a few. I think I have 9 up here. Just 9 easy activities that you can do at home as a family to increase physical activity and play in your environment for your preschooler. And if I could ask you live, I would love to hear other activities that you do as a family, or some ideas that you can do in addition to the ones that are listed on this presentation, that you think could be fun to increase play and physical activity for your children. So make play a part of your day. Getting children to be more physically active may not be easy at first. Try adding 10 to 15 minutes of physical activity every day. with the goal of at least 1 hour of active play every day. So again, you want to try to, you may not be able to start off right away with an hour. You may not have that time, or your child may not be engaged for that. They may not have the capacity at the moment to play for that long. But you can just add 10 or 15 minutes each time. Start off with a 10-minute fun time, and then add 10 minutes or 15 minutes the next time, and add another 10 or 15 minutes. So you can gradually increase that play or the length of your activities as time progresses until you hit an hour. And then you can also brainstorm about things that prevent your family from doing more physical activity. And so what can you do, or what more can you do to incorporate physical activity into your families? Because, a lot of times we don't all have time, or we don't have time in our days to do maybe a full hour of physical activity, but you may find that there could be something that you can, put into your day to be physically active. One idea could be like maybe a morning stretch. If you don't have time throughout the day to do physical activity with your children, maybe you make it a routine where every morning you get up and you do like a 10-minute family stretch. That's just an example, and that's something that if you try it, I would love to know how that worked out for you. So here are some things that you can do to increase your child's active play. And so what you want to do is try to start off, introducing them these activities, but you want to make these actual habits. You want your kids to actually want to do these, or you want them to actually ask to do in these activities. So you want to establish routine. Like I said, if you're going to do like a morning yoga activity or family yoga, then establish it that every morning, Monday through Friday, we're going to, from 7 to 7:15, we're going to do a 10 or 15-minute morning stretch. And that's just a way to get our bodies moving and just get ourselves centered and ready for our day. Limit time spent with TV, computers, cell phones, and other electronic devices that could take your child's attention away from being physically active. We all know that sitting for long periods of time can increase the risk of gaining weight, being immobile. So, we may sit and eat more and not being physically active. So it can do more harm than good when we're consistently sitting or using electronic devices and not moving our bodies. Make the activities fun. Don't, try to avoid having your kid do activities or play games that they don't like, or that's too advanced for them, or that that they've mastered and no longer are interested in. You want to do things that's exciting for them, that they want to do, and that's fun. So, you may have to do a little homework for that, but I'm sure your kids will be very, very grateful. Do the activities together as a family. When your kids see you being physically active, that encourages them to do the same. So the more they see you having fun and playing with them and playing in the games that even that they may have selected, that's a great way to motivate your children to be physically active and to want to be physically active. Again, being a role model. So that's pretty much what I had just said. If they see you being active, they're going to be active, or that increases the likelihood that they will be active. And praise your children when they master a new skill. So when you notice that your child who used to have trouble climbing through it, maybe crawling through the little tunnel, and they've actually been able to do it, praise them, give them a high five, or, shout hooray. Let them pull an activity from, that little activity box that we just talked about in the previous lesson. So there's a lot of ways that you can really make play a part of your child's day, and that you can make it fun for them. Also, it's a good idea to mix it up. Give your children choices. For example, you can ask, would you like to go to the park, or ride our bikes, or dance to music? So giving them the opportunity to choose what they want to do. That just helps to increase the likelihood that they'll actually want to do it. Talk to your children while they play. Something you can say is, let's see how high you can jump. And you can make it a challenge, just ask them questions, see what they could do to make that activity more engaging for them. You want to also make sure that your space is a safe space for them. So you want to check your play areas for any dangerous objects that are sharp, hard, slippery. If there's any, debris laying around in certain spaces where they could potentially get harmed, you want to make sure that their space is free of any type of hazards. So that way they can really enjoy playing without the risk of being injured. And provide snacks and water. Snacks provide energy, so be sure to offer 2 or 3 healthy snacks a day. Water is always needed, so you want to make sure that you always have water available during physical activities as well as after. So you want to have, and again, if you have a child who isn't a fan of drinking water, maybe try some infused waters. You can, put some cucumbers and mint in your water with some ice, and that's a nice refreshing way for them to drink water. And avoid sweet drinks. As sweet drinks add extra calories, which mean you will have to work out even more or play harder to burn off that sugary beverage. And it can kind of make your energy crash rather quickly. So try to avoid sugary drinks when your child is playing or after play. The best choice is water. So we have now reached the end of lesson 5, and I always like to show some physical activities that we could do to get our bodies moving. I'm going to do something a little different today, and I'm not going to spin the wheel because I've been having some difficulty with our spin wheel. So I'm just going to go over the moves and kind of just demonstrate them from my seat. So uh, overhead press is pretty easy. If you have a weight or if you have something that you can that can add a little weight to you, you can do an overhead press. I have a ball here that is kind of weighted. It's not very heavy, but I'll just use it for my overhead press. This says 20, but I'm just going to demonstrate 5, but I would encourage you to do 20 if you can. So overhead stretch is overhead stretch. And I can even bring it in front of me. Some people use like large weights. So you may have to kind of configure it so that they don't bump you. We'll do 2 more. That'll be overhead press. There's in the yellow, there's the tummy twist. And so the tummy twist is you can take something weighted like a ball or hand weights or a can if you have any canned goods. And you would just hold your arms up and twist to the side. Come back to center, twist to the side. You always want to make sure that your back is straight, your spine is straight, that you're sitting up straight, so that way you don't slump over like that. You want to make sure your spine and your lower back are nice and in place or in line, so that way you can lower the risk of injury. So again, with our tummy twist, we're just going to twist from side to side. As far as you go, you want to hold it for and then come to the front, to the side, and then to the front. You can just repeat that, doing 15 total. So that's that. Okay, and then the last one are seated knee extensions. I don't know if I'll be able to show you that one. I'm seated in my chair, and I'm literally lifting my knee. So I'm seated, my back is straight, my spine is straight, I'm sitting up straight and tall, and I'm just lifting my knees up. Now, if I wanted to expand on this move and make it a little more challenging, I can even lift my leg up and step my leg out. And bring it back in and down. Lift my leg up, my knee up, lift my leg out, and down. I'll do one more each side. And again, this is just me adding that extra leg stretch in the front Otherwise, in the extension, it's just so those are a couple of moves that you can do. Those are very easy to do, doesn't take much time. Again, anything that heart rate moving is good. You want to try to do moderate to vigorous physical activity daily if you can. Moderate activities when you can actually still hold a conversation with someone. So if you're, speed walking, you may be able to still talk to someone. However, if you speed walk and then you start incorporating some jumping in between, like doing intervals where you run for a minute, then you do some jumping, and then you start to feel your heart rate going up. You probably won't be able to speak to someone or talk, so that means you're doing more vigorous. So you want to try to do moderate to vigorous physical activity daily, as that's really, really good for our cardio health. So I'm going to stop sharing my video, and we will now conclude with an at-home activity that you can do with your preschooler, and it's make a dancing streamer. So parents can help children have a healthy life by making fun physical activities a part of each day. And for this activity, what you'll need are crepe paper, ribbon, or even toilet tissue paper. You'll also need an unsharpened pencil or a straw. You'll also need tape and a ruler, which is optional. And what you have to do is measure 24 inches of the streamer or paper or ribbon, whatever you chose to use. And then you're going to tape this to one end of the pencil or the straw. And then you'll show how to run, dance, and play with the streamer. So pretty much just like the picture here. She's just kind of running with the streamer and swaying around. So it just makes, play a little fun, a little more exciting. You can make a streamer for each family member and enjoy the fun together by putting on music and using your ribbons to move around. So that's a very simple, easy activity that you could do with your little ones that will hopefully, provide some special time or bonding time with you and your children. And it's really simple to do. And usually a lot of the materials that we use in this lesson throughout the entire, I'm sorry, not the lesson, but the curriculum, are usually a lot of things that you may already have on hand. So it doesn't really require much for you to, it doesn't require that you go shopping for the activity materials, as most of these activities we can find at home, or you can supplement other things in place of, a particular object. So for instance, if you don't have a pencil, maybe you can use a straw, or you could use even a stick from or a branch from a tree. So as always, we end our lessons with the discrimination complaint form. If you feel that you need to file a discrimination complaint, you can go to the link for the USDA that's listed here. You can also file a complaint through the USDA office by calling the number listed, or you can mail your complaints to the Department of Agriculture. Oops, I jumped ahead. I want to thank you for participating in this lesson. I hope you found the information to be useful to you and your child. We hope that these lessons have provided you with some tips that can help you to, strengthen your role as a parent when it comes to, making sure that your child is on a positive path of development. And if you need more information for healthy tips and physical fitness, please visit calfreshhealthyliving.org, or you can also visit our tcciwellness.com website, where we have additional information for you. So I hope you will join me for lesson 6, which will be cooking with kids, where we'll be talking about how you can incorporate or include your child in the cooking process and the importance of having children help with cooking activities. So that will be lesson 6, and I hope you will join me for that. And I thank you for your time today. Bye.